Hey there folks, how you doing today? Hope all is going well for you. Welcome back for this week's edition of Fans Only Content. For those of you that are not aware of what we do here, this is content geared towards folks that regularly watch everything that we put out on this channel, that have seen the prior what to think about or fans only videos and have kind of been following along. If you haven't been following the channel, if you're not aware of the information discussed in the prior videos, you're probably not going to get a whole lot out of this, and now would be a good time to go watch Looney Tunes. So if you're still here, this is going to be unedited for the most part. I'm going to do my best to not have to sit and edit everything out of it because it takes a long time. For every minute of content you see, it takes me 3 to 5 minutes to produce. I'm going to start off with something serious, and we're going to work towards something that's a little more fun. I've got everything written down this evening. I wasn't able to get it printed from the email that I wrote myself, so bear with me on this one. I will be reading from the script quite a bit. So the first thing I wanted to cover with you folks was the supply chain issues that we've been seeing. They have not gotten any better. Sure, there's stuff on the shelves in the store, but when you look at it, there's just a lot of stuff that's not there. Twice this week, I went to the store for two very different things. Both times, I was unable to find it at any store in my area. Now, you might think, well, you live in rural wherever it is, and chances of being able to find it there are pretty slim. But actually, I live in the greater Houston metropolitan area, and as a general rule, if you're going to be able to go find something in a store, you can do it around here. That being said, the headliner in my old Dodge diesel pickup has been sagging pretty bad. I had replaced it a couple of years ago, and the Permatex headliner spray did not hold. The material was a little bit too heavy, and it released. So I'm going to take it off, and I'm going to use 3M headliner spray to reattach it with. I can't find it anywhere around here. I went and checked even at Lowe's, and they had the 3M Super 77 spray, which Walmart also had. And to their credit, Lowe's had it for $11 and Walmart had it for $17. But everything I've read on the internet says that it's just not quite as good as the actual headliner spray for keeping heavy fabric suspended. So getting back to the supply chain issues, I'm going to dig a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit into the weeds with that, but I'm not going to try to regurgitate the information that I've been gathering. Rather, I'm going to direct you to the information that I've been gathering here in just a minute. I went to fill up my diesel pickup yesterday, $4.77 a gallon. And again, we're here in Houston. This is the energy corridor, folks. I want to know, what are you paying for it in the middle of the country? Because they don't have to ship it real far here. I'm sure, as most of you are well aware, your dollar is just not going as far when you go to the grocery store these days. I've been working a lot of overtime lately. That's part of the reason why I've been a little late in getting some of this content out. And I've been doing that in order to maintain operational feasibility here on the farm. And believe me when I tell you, I realize not everybody has that as an option. You know, not everybody can pick up extra shifts. It leads me to believe that there's probably a lot of folks out there that are really struggling or just choosing to go without things that they need because they have to pay a larger than last month's light bill, or they have to pay more for their car insurance premium this 6 months than it was last 6 months. And when you contact the insurance agent and you ask them why, they tell you it's because their rates have gone up because it's costing more to get vehicles fixed when there's accidents. And speaking of accidents, yesterday with this storm going on here, I was driving down Highway 105 coming home from Conroe, Texas, and traffic comes to a stop. The guy behind me, he just couldn't quite stop in time. He nailed the back of my diesel pickup. Fortunately, it didn't really do anything to my truck. It pushed the bumper in maybe about that much. It smashed the grill on his little crossover thing that he was driving pretty good. But he was okay, I was okay, and neither one of us wanted to stand around in the rain and make more out of that than what it was. So concerning some of the things that are going on causing these supply chain issues, recently, we'll say since November, there's been 20 some odd that I know of that I've actually looked up articles on, and yeah, you know what, it is going on. But these are fires, these are like acts of God almost, like planes crashing into production facilities, and it just really seems like the infrastructure of society here is under attack. And I guess it's that way everywhere. But, once is an anomaly, twice is a coincidence. When it's happening all the time, you got to wonder if people somewhere are pulling the strings and making this stuff happen. Add to that, there's a company in Berlin, Germany, ASML, that manufactures the machinery that's necessary for manufacturing semiconductors and microchips. And they had a big fire back in January. And according to the press release that they issued right after the fire happened, they said that they were going to be back fully operational very soon, and that things weren't as bad as they may have originally appeared. But I've actually spoken to a couple of people that know a little bit more about it than what that press release said, and they said here it is, end of April, and they still don't have it together. They're still not back in production like they were. And this company doesn't make the microchips. They don't make the semiconductors. They make the equipment to make them with. And I'm not gonna like dig deep into the weeds here. This is not the platform to do that with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to direct you to this channel, this guy Goshen Prepping. He's really done his homework on investigating some of the stuff that's going on. You need to step over and check out his channel. Moving into current events, I don't know if there are still any of you that are throwing your money at Disney Plus or Disney in general or Netflix, but anybody who's looked or cares to look knows that there's a bunch of just wokeness unleashed going on with those entities right now. And I don't see, I can't in good conscience give them any more of my money. Now, I gave up Netflix, and then shortly after I gave up Disney Plus, almost 2 years ago, because I got tired of having to explain things to my kids that they were seeing on this children's programming that they were watching. Furthermore, if you're planning a Disney vacation this year, if you're planning on I'm taking the kids to Disney, and you don't have 6 months of dry goods stocked up for supply, you're probably watching the wrong channel. And I don't think there's too many of you out there that would fit in that category, but it is what it is. And again, I'm not trying to sound all high and mighty or pious or, being up on a soapbox, although this is a platform with which I reach people. But, if you don't control what your kids are seeing, then you're not doing your job as a parent. You got to draw a line in the sand, and you don't cross that line. So what we do is, the kids have certain little programs that they watch, and a lot of them I really don't care for just because it's mind-numbing. But if a program crosses a line that goes against my personal beliefs, we tell the kids, like, hey, look, this happened on that show you were watching. For that reason, we're not watching that show anymore. And that's just kind of a house rule that we live by here. I'm sure most of you know that I do try to keep the content here on this channel family friendly. Understand, this content is not made for children. I have never indicated that this content is made for children. However, you shouldn't have to stop watching this video, turn it off, because your kids walk into the room. And too often there will be things that I might want to see, but I cringe because I know the individual that's presenting the content is going to drop a couple of F-bombs or whatever. And I just, I don't want my 7-year-old girl hearing that stuff on the TV. Okay, so I'll quit beating a dead horse. Let's move on to something a little more fun. All right, funny stuff. This is stuff I found on the internet. I saved to my phone, and now I'm going to share with you. Godzilla. You call this a Manhattan? Where are the people screaming? I don't know. I thought it was funny. Going back to 2017, Netflix posted this on Twitter. Love is sharing a password. Come on in, doll. You can sit here with me for a minute if you want.
Are you videoing?
I am. So, folks, look what we have.
I'm the princess.
She is the princess. She got that right. All right, moving right along. Let's see here. Everybody likes Skeletor. Let's see here. Go ahead. Change my mind. I identify as is like saying I pretend to be. I love it. I do. That's true, folks. It's true. I didn't make it up. Did I make it up?
Yes. No. No. No.
All right. So when you go to O'Reilly's, guys, anybody that works on their own car has been through this. And yeah, sometimes the thing I like to do, and I do this anymore, is I go on their website and I look to see if they have the part that I need, and I just go ahead and I buy it ahead of time. That way I can go in there and say, hey, I bought this. Do you have it in the back? And yeah, this one fits our house pretty well. Having a teenager is like living in a haunted house. Every now and then you will see a figure out of the corner of your eye, followed by a moaning sound, and a door will slam shut. That's factual. It really happens. This one, Sonic. I love this one. Chicken loses job. Chicken is broke. Chicken strips, $3.79. Yeah, somebody had fun with it. Now this, guys my age, guys around my age, this one's going to hurt. George Jetson's birthday was August 22nd, 2022. George turned 40 years old in 2062. That means that George Jetson was born this year. Now this one, this is funny. This is going to hurt some of y'all, but that's okay because sometimes love is tough, all right? We grew up on these. Y'all out here drinking White Claw. We are not the same. It reminds me, growing up in New Mexico, I used to run around with this little guy named Mike. Bye, sweetie. I used to run around with this guy named Mike, and one time I had went over to his house and we had each picked up a 40-ounce bottle of Mickey's malt liquor, and He drank his and I drank part of mine, and for whatever reason I didn't finish it, and it wound up in the bed of my truck, and it rolled around in the bed of my truck for about a week. And then one day, after about a week, I gave Mike a ride, and he spotted the bottle in the back of the truck, and he says, "Yo, can I have that?" And I said, "It's been there for a week." And the man opened it up and drank it. So, and he's still alive as far as I know. So, yeah. All right. Now let's get into some current events. These are funny. They're also very true. Transparency. I have not been following the Johnny Depp trial simply because I don't care. But that other one, why were they so quiet about it? This one hits really close to home. Flight attendants thankful as they can now identify problem customers more quickly. Yeah. How about this one? Kids who played like this were the last cool generation. I agree. Where are my couch fork commandos at? All right, I've got to read this one off the paper. There's too much to it. Social media made y'all way too comfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the face for it. Mike Tyson. Yeah. Yeah. I can agree with that. This one hurts. D-Fringe Minority says, why is no one standing for the people in Shanghai when they're standing for the people in... Axiomatic enemy of the state replied, nobody's TV told them to. Truth hurts. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. I've got to get inside. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up with the comment of the week. Okay, the comment of the week this week came from James Cole, who has 1 subscriber, whose profile on YouTube indicates that he is into dating strippers, RC cars, and Bitcoin. He doesn't follow pizza delivery because, well, I guess he probably doesn't want to take work home with him. His comment this week was, and best I can tell, it's all one sentence. I'm going to read it verbatim. I know this last year review, but guy, you should have known your gun was loaded hot condition when you racked the slide and ejected the loaded round on the first target. Damn glad you did not point it and pull the trigger at yourself or someone else. Very poor gun handling skills. Period. There's a period at the end of that, so I'm assuming he's somewhat familiar with punctuation. Oh, look, we have another princess coming. Come on in. You can sit here too. All right, so I'm wrapping this up. The video he was referring to was the Max 9 Galloway Maxus SS trigger install video where it wasn't the install video, it was the follow-up to the install video where I was showing grouping, and on the range, in a controlled environment, I ejected around out onto the ground. When I stepped back to shoot, I came forward and I made a note about it and moved forward. That was the premise of which his comment came from. As you can see here, we have the Max 9 with the Galloway Precision Maxus SS trigger installed on it. We're going to do a little bit of accuracy testing from the 7-yard line today on this orange target and this green target right here. The 10-round magazine that I have here is loaded up with Russian steel-cased full metal jacket ammunition. This is about as cheap a factory-loaded ammunition as you can find, and I've had reliability issues with this ammunition in other pistols. So I'm going to step back and see what this Ruger Max 9 will do at 7 yards. Okay, so that was again the Max 9 with the Galloway Precision trigger. 7 yards, as fast as I could get the rounds on paper. Now you will notice I had one flyer to the bottom. That was just me. And also there was no malfunction. I'm just an idiot and I ejected the first round out on the ground when I got over there, so I had to pick it up and put it back in the gun. Otherwise, it ran pretty good and the accuracy was pretty acceptable considering. I don't know what to tell you. At least he gave me some material to work with. All right, James, go on, continue. Just be that guy.
Ain't no running. Slow down. Blow me. All right.
Anyway, that's all I got for tonight. Until next time, take care. God bless. Girls, I can still hear you. Beat it!